Hello, everyone. I have recently retired as head teacher of a school. There were 900 girls in the school, and I am in Donegal in Ireland, but I am on the border with Northern Ireland, and I worked in Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom. So, Brexit and all that is happening with Brexit is very important to me because I will be in Europe and the people in school will be in the United Kingdom. So it's very interesting times. Uh, I myself am from a big family. I have seven sisters and I had three brothers. And I was the first person in my family to get the chance to study science at school. And my science class in school were the first science class that ever had girls in it. So there was a big focus on science. So I was very lucky that had that opportunity. And from the moment I started learning science, I was just awestruck by it. Every class, every lesson, I loved it. And I went to school in Ireland and I was able to do all the sciences. I did physics, I did chemistry, and I did biology right up until I was 18. And I was also able to do my languages, English, maths, and French and Irish. So I was very lucky. I had a very broad education. And then I went to university and did biochemistry. And when I was at university, I graduated in 1980. I really wanted to go in and work in like a big pharma company or some sort of maybe research work. And an interesting thing happened. The boys, I had a good degree, but the boys were getting called for interviews. And I and a few of my female friends, mostly the class was boys, but some of us girls with better degrees were not getting called for interviews. And this might seem strange. This is what, 30, 40 years ago? But yeah, there were less opportunities for young women in their 20s who were probably seen as high risk in terms of how long, if they would stay with the company. So that was a shock to me. And while I was thinking about this and deciding what to do, I got a phone call from our local further education college. And they asked if I would come and teach the class that their tutor had taken unwell. And I took a contract with them for a year. I never, ever wanted to teach. I thought I would be too impatient. I thought I would be bored. And I thought I couldn't manage all those young people asking questions. And I went, because I had no other work and I needed the work, I went and taught there. It was absolutely fabulous. I loved every minute of it. And I broke my heart one year when I had to leave it. So I decided then that I would go and do a qualification to teach. And I taught, I got my qualification and I taught for a year in an all boys school, believe it or not. And they made me redundant because the numbers in the school were dropping. So after all this big long course, this trailblazing girl doing science, getting this job that she loved, then I was made redundant. So I tell you that really so that you understand that people think success is just a straight line and you go straight to, the top, wherever that is. It's not. Everybody has their one step forward, two steps back, a step sideways. That's the way life is. And you just have to keep going. So I applied for a job after being made redundant. I still got my redundancy letter and I started teaching science in St. Mary's. I taught maths and science for 21 years and I loved it. The opportunity came up to be head teacher and I applied and I got the job. And I was head teacher until September for 14 years. And it was the most amazing time of my life. I really loved it. And during my time there, we made the school a very much science and STEM focused school. We were one of the first schools in Northern Ireland to be a specialist school for science. We were also a Microsoft Pathfinder and are still a Microsoft specialist school, which means we connect globally with other schools. And we're also what's called a digital schoolhouse, where we promote and help the primary school children develop skills in coding and so on. So that strong STEM emphasis has stayed with me right throughout my life. And we have just seen so many young people achieve incredible success. The school I work in has high levels of deprivation. Many of the children would not have role models in science. Many of them would be the first in their family to go through university. And providing them with opportunities to go and do science courses was a big drive for us. We partnered with our local university to help these girls while they were studying, and they did, and it was very successful. And we worked with businesses as well so that the businesses could help providing sponsorship, and we still provide sponsorship for some of the girls to help them do their STEM courses. And the girls have had amazing success. We enter a lot of competitions, which the curriculum is quite narrow in schools and doesn't encourage creativity. And that's probably shocking for a principal to say, but it's probably true. So we would do competitions where they would have to solve problems, think outside the box, crazy ideas, and they are very successful. And we do it in so many different ways. We even run now our own big competitions locally for the primary school children and so on. And so much so, one of the successes was one of our pupils in 2019 was the UK Young Scientist of the Year. And another girl a year younger than her, Ava, was also very successful and has had numerous successes in science competitions, but she was chosen to be one of the Broadcom Masters attending a summer camp in the United States. And she was chosen then by Hasbro, the people who make games, they make Monopoly, and they launched a Mrs. Monopoly version. And Ava was chosen as one of their 3 innovators. They had 3 young innovators because they launched a video for Ms. Monopoly. And the other 2 inventors were American, but Ava from St. Mary's in Derry in Ireland was the other inventor with her spectrophotometer. And her prize, which is always the interesting places things take you, science takes you, was that she got a copy of the Miss Monopoly game with £20,580 in it, because that's the amount of money there is in a Monopoly game, to help further her innovative product, to help her continue her research. And Maeve and Ava are still pupils with us. So very, very exciting. Now, ask me some questions because we're going to run out of time.
Aisha, do you have anything to ask from Marie?
Yeah, for sure. I really congratulate her, first of all, on her retirement after so long a service. And I would like to ask that in her whole journey, she must have experienced the times of crisis, when you felt like giving up on something. So what kept you motivated and how did you manage it?
There were plenty of times when it is challenging. And you know what I will say to you? When I look back, the challenges are tough, but they're the best, because that is when you learn.